Hi all, this is Dr. Kingston, and in this video I'll be discussing the lacrimal system. The objectives for this video are to identify the components of the lacrimal system and to describe the flow of lacrimal fluid. The lacrimal system's overarching function is to maintain the ocular surface. This means keeping the surface lubricated, flushing out debris, and even providing some nutrients to the tissue of the orbit. It accomplishes these by producing and draining lacrimal fluid. The gland responsible for producing lacrimal fluid is the lacrimal gland. It is a parasympathetically innervated gland that has many small ducts that open onto the ocular surface. It's located in the superior lateral corner of the orbit. And if you look at the image here, you can make it out just deep to the eyelid. We'll be discussing its innervation in much more detail in an upcoming video, so I'm going to kind of gloss over that for right now. The rest of the lacrimal system is located near the medial corner or the medial canthus of the eye. Now, the eye is round and doesn't really have corners, so this is where the upper and lower eyelid meet up. There's one over here on the lateral side too, but we're going to be focusing just on the medial canthus for this video. So we have established that our lacrimal gland up here secretes lacrimal fluid onto the ocular surface, so onto the surface of the eyeball. This is going to travel inferiorly and medially, and it is going to end up collecting right down here in this little region called the lacrimal lake. Within the lacrimal lake, there is a small mound of skin called the lacrimal caruncle, which is a fun word to say. This is a small island in the lake that houses some orbital glands. On the superior and inferior eyelids, there are small lacrimal papillae that surround a small lacrimal puncta. So remember, papillae looks like a nipple, a puncta is a hole. So that puncta is an opening through which the lacrimal fluid that has accumulated down here in the lacrimal lake will drain. The papilla helps push down that little opening into the lacrimal lake to help drainage. For the rest of the pathway, we're going to have to switch to a diagram because these structures are practically impossible to dissect well without hundreds of hours to spare. The lacrimal puncta are going to open into long tubular channels called lacrimal canaliculi. These are going to lead down to the lacrimal sac, which sits in the lacrimal fossa of the orbit, and that allows lacrimal fluid to accumulate. From the sac, then, fluid gets shunted down inferiorly through the nasolacrimal duct and into the inferior meatus of the nasal cavity. So if you've ever wondered why your nose runs when you cry, this is it. Normally, the lacrimal fluid that ends up in your nasal cavity just kind of hangs out there, and it helps to keep the mucosa moist, and you really don't notice it. When you cry, you're producing an excess amount of lacrimal fluid, and it's got to go somewhere, so it runs out your nose. Just a little side note here for fun. This is also what keeps your dog or your cat or your other furry friend's nose moist, so when they get it right up in your face, you can rest easy knowing that they're sharing their love through tears, not boogers. And that brings us to the end. Here's your review question. The correct answer here is C, and let's bring up that diagram again just to walk through it. So from the lacrimal gland, lacrimal fluid is going to flow into the conjunctival sac. From there, it goes to the lacrimal lake, then to the lacrimal papilla through the lacrimal puncta, and then it's going to exit the orbit altogether through those canaliculi and into the lacrimal sac. All right, that is the end. Thank you for watching.